topic Human Risk Mitigation Platform. And for this, I would like to invite our next speaker, that is Mr. Sudhakar Raja, CEO at 𝗏𝗏𝗀. Giving a brief introduction, Mr. Sudhakar has over 30 plus years of experience in strategy and technology. He was the former CTO of Shriram General Insurance before the entrepreneurial bug bit him and started his own venture. Prior to that, he was with Oracle and KPMG in the US working on strategy and technologies. With this, please welcome Mr. Sudhakar with a huge round of applause.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Appreciate it. So I think she's already introduced me, so I'm going to waste my time introducing myself once again. So what is 𝗏𝗏𝗀? Keep this really short, so don't worry about it, okay? So 𝗏𝗏𝗀 is similar to your credit score. Credit score helps you in financial risk mitigation. We look at human risk mitigation. In simple words, that's who we are. We are partners with FIDC. FIDC is the Association for all the finance companies. 𝗲𝗲, which is the Association for all the microfinance companies. NHRD Chennai, VASME, Textile Association of India, and a few others as well. So why did all these people partner with me? Because we are trying to solve an industry problem, if you think about it, right? So this is a hot topic, right? I mean, moonlighting, pros and cons. So we leave it to each company ultimately. But the point is that every company might look at it from a different angle. But let's say, for example, a company like Infosys or anybody might say, hey, you know what? It might help me in mitigating the risk of intellectual property theft as the simplest example, right? Each one has their view, but ultimately we need to be able to risk mitigate those views is the main concern. In fact, 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 Premji also spoke about it. The Money Control article talks about the risk of the employees committing fraud and so on and so forth. We spoke about it pretty much in the Money Control article as another example. The problem is even bigger. $800 billion, that's the amount of money that India is losing because of the human risks. Let me repeat that number, $800 billion. 30% of companies go bankrupt because of human risks. 50%, actually it's not 50, it's 30. 30% of resumes are fake according to Randstad, 30% of degrees are fake according to First Advantage, and background verification, all of you are HR professionals, you understand what the background verification cost and everything else is ultimately. The banking industry lost 1.38 lakh crores just last year. Just 1 year, 1.38 lakh crores was lost. SKS Microfinance is a classic company which went bankrupt because of the human risk, if you look at it. Another big change, everybody here would say every talent acquisition head's nightmare. 54% of candidates accept offer letters and don't join. Every time something like this happens, the company is losing a lakh of rupees besides lost cost of opportunity, which everybody will appreciate as well. Just to put it in perspective, a large company that I know sends out about 1 lakh offer letters for 40,000 hires. In terms of numbers, that they're losing about 5 crores just on this one simple problem about it, right? Again, Prashant Patti came on Twitter and became national news where all this was the offer letter acceptance. People in Business Insider articles spoke about it as well. Another big challenge, right? So even one wrong hire can cost your company lakhs or even crores of money. I've taken this example of 3 guys swindling about 30 crores from a private finance company in Chennai as a simplest example. But every company, if you think about it, goes through this loss. And in fact, there was a large entertainment company which also had this major problem where one guy actually swiped his American Express card for 50 lakhs and ran away. You know, each one of these cases could cost your company in lakhs and crores of money, think about it. That's where we come in. So we look at it not from one single angle, we want to look at it from a 360-degree angle. A person is an employee, he could be a customer, agents, interns, gig workers, your partners, your outsourced workers. If you look at it from a different angle, a lot of people don't even put I came from an insurance background, right? So think about it, my agents never get any kind of background verification done on those guys, right? But in fact, they're an extended workforce. You're a contract workers in some cases, for example. They're extended workers. If you take Flipkart as an example, they might have a delivery partner who's giving him a stone instead of an iPhone as a simplest thought process, as an example. So, you know, all these things are outsourced contract workers, and we don't do that kind of a background verification on those people, but in reality, they affect your brand image, they affect your company, they affect the losses that are going to be incurred as a part of that entire storyline, if you think about it, right? So we take the process flow right from your offer giving all the way to the separation of the particular person. In case of insurance companies and borrowers and so on and so forth, we also bring the customer, because a borrower in one company is an employee elsewhere, an employee elsewhere is also a borrower somewhere else, as the simplest thought process if you think about it, right? So we want to bring that entire ecosystem into this and with simple APIs. We don't have to move an inch. Everything is integrated and plugged into your HRMS systems, your CRM systems, your underwriting platforms. This way, you're not doing anything manual. We don't want you to do anything manual. It's all plugged in and it all comes to you right in your hands without you moving an inch. So imagine, so Accenture, for example, fired about X number of employees just recently for having fake experience. So one of the questions some reporter was asking me was, hey, you know what, why did it take such a long time? Because the problem is, if I have to do background verification, the offer acceptance to join ratio is so bad, I cannot afford to do background verification on so many guys, ultimately. So time taken, there is a whole bunch of problems that comes out of the entire equation if you think about it. So what if I was able to give it to you in seconds? That's what we're trying to do, right? So, and we will let you know active monitoring and everything else that is something that we provide. So every person in the organization is a good person. As soon as somebody joins your organization, he gets 1,000 points. Anything that gets reported about him reduces the score, right? We also provide API-based sending offer letters and so on and so forth. We also offer background verification services as a part of the platform, but practically this is what we are in terms of what we do. We also want to make your process efficient. If you look at HR has a very lean, mean organization if you think about it. If I can save your time and processes, let's say as a background verification company, what would I do? I would reach out to your HR, ask you about this particular employee and so on and so forth. You are spending time and answering a question about an employee who's left your organization. It's not the most productive use of your time if you think about it. Similarly, when an employee of yours is taking a loan, let's say he's taking a home loan, a personal loan, again, you're giving out letters and so on and so forth. Again, wasteful HR time for a process of a personal problem of an employee if you think about it, right? No more experience certificate, relieving letters. If he's going to commit a fraud, he's going to commit a fraud on his relieving letters as well. So why even bother with that? Remove that entire equation is what we are saying. Another big challenge, just like SKS Microfinance. You let go one person, the next guy does it, and the next guy does it, and all of a sudden you have a virus that is spreading across the entire organization for that matter. In fact, so as I pointed out, if you're a financial services organization, a customer of yours is an employee elsewhere is a customer of yours. So we want to be able to capture that information and provide active monitoring tools to be able to make sure. Before the advent of CIBIL, how did people behave? People behave the way they wanted. They paid the loan whenever they wanted. Today, on time, everything is there. The similar behavior is what you're going to have over a period of time with TrustScore coming into the picture. So where people will start understanding that what they are doing is going to be having an effect in what they're doing, and that is going to help you in running a business. Go ask your CEO, hey, you know what, if I save you X crores from your organization, he'd be jumping in joy, for example, right? So every person, if you think about it, will need to look at that from a different angle. So again, you know, this is more applicable for an insurance company, but if you look at it from a partner perspective, if you're working for an SME or an MSME, the chances of that company going bankrupt is 30%. If that company is going to be going bankrupt because 30%, you could be just your partner who's working with you, and that could affect your business as well, for that matter, right? So this is a sample screenshot of how we work. Simply put, you get 1,000 points. Anything else, you click on the eye, it'll tell you why it is less. The green tick mark comes because the companies have provided data. We are working with colleges. So the colleges will give you academic background verification. Let's say 𝗥𝗏 does, let's say for example, a certification of a course. They can put the green tick mark right here. So everything is available with simple APIs, which will allow you to make those decision making much more faster if you think about it, right? So again, offer letters you can do through the APIs, and anything that you basically report, you know, this basically affects the trust score of that particular person while delivering the warning letters. Everything else comes as a part of the equation, and that affects the trust score of that particular person if you think about it. So the major advantages you're going to have, you know, of course, it's going to boost your brand image. If you're doing a consulting job, for example, it's going to boost your brand image, saying that, you know what, you're hiring trusted employees is one of the things that you're going to have as a part of the equation. 90% reduction in wrong errors, absconding employees will come down. Your frauds will come down dramatically. The cost of background verification will come down. Your offer acceptance to joint ratios will be better. These are some of the major advantages that you're going to have, and that is going to save you lakhs and crores of money if you think about it. Right? So we're going to give you predictive analysis over a period of time. We're going to let you know what is the average salary of a person in this industry, what are the likelihood of a person leaving you. Those are kinds of analysis that are going to help you over a period of time to help you to run your HR organizations in a much more better way if you think about it. Right? So we have put it in the code of conduct of NBFCs and microfinance institutions. So they are supposed to part with us. These are some of the large customers who are already part of us. 150 companies have already started to use our platform. We're growing almost dynamically, almost on a daily basis. As I pointed out, Satish Mehta, who's the founding CEO and MD of CIBIL, is in my board. Shriram Capital, Srinivas Acharya, Mr. from Sundaram Finance, Saxo CIO, NHRD Secretary, Mr. Sridhar, Maxter, MD. These are some of the people who are backing us up in terms of what we're trying to do and how we're doing it. It's absolutely free. It's absolutely free. There's no cost to it at all right now. We just want to bring companies on board and provide the platform as a part of the equation. So some of the questions that you're going to have: privacy protection, data security, all these are taken care of. We are GDPR compliant. You don't have to worry about that as well. So all these are taken care of. That is why you have 150 companies who have vetted me already. The likes of Star Health Insurance was a publicly traded company. All those companies have already vetted me, so you don't have to worry about, you know, all those things that we've already taken care of. We've answered the questions and so on and so forth. So that's about TrustScore. Any questions so far? Yeah.
You say that this is free of cost for now. I'm just wondering, when does the cost really kick in?
So,
no, I don't want you to respond to that. You keep your secrets there. But I'm saying this is a solution which I think is really needed for now. I just have two questions. I've asked some part of it to you outside, but I think some of us could do with the answers to that. First is, you say you are GDPR compliant, and that would typically work on a consent kind of basis. But you know, I've faced this challenge that for a lot of similar solutions, when I go out to an employee sitting in the US or the Europe, I ask for a consent, the consent doesn't come in. So how does one create the WIFM for it? The WIFM for the organization is very clearly articulated in your presentation, but what is the WIFM for a user, for an employee who's applying somewhere? So that's the first question. And then the second one is that, you know, supply chain and manufacturing globally, they're using blockchain as a track and trace kind of a mechanism. Do you see that there is a use case for you to look at blockchain because the public ledger kind of, you know, democratizes the entire data, and therefore there is more credibility to that? So these two, if you could just.
Sure. So the way we operate is every company, we tell them to put two sentences into their offer letters. One is that you will be doing background verification and you'll be reporting to background verification. That gives the consent. On acceptance of an offer letter, that consent is given to that particular person, saying that you are required, we're going to be reporting you, and doing this is something that we actually tell every company to put up. So that gives you the consent answer, if you like. Number two is blockchain. Blockchain, yes, we have the technology. If a company is willing to pay for it, I'm willing to do it. It's a simple thought process, because ultimately we are giving it away free right now. We cannot afford to have another technology adding up to our cost ultimately. So, but we have the blockchain technology. We have already, if your company says, yes, I want it to be done on blockchain, I'm ready to give it to you. We already have it. No problems at all. And I'm not yet done. I've got 2 more minutes. I'm going to finish this up. Any other questions? Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ramya. Question number one was consent. I did not understand your platform much. If I subscribe, I mean, as an organization, so I update my employee or candidate's information over there, and you know, you run the BGV process, etc. But you will not share this information with other partners, like, you know, Augis,
The competitors,
IBM,
nobody.
HCL.
See, it's a SaaS platform. You believe in 𝗥𝗶𝘀𝗴𝗁, HCM? Yeah, so they're a SaaS platform. We're a SaaS platform.
Okay.
Whatever data you're storing, a part of the information is coming to you and kept in your data storage, if you like.
So this works in this way: you already have the responses from the other partners. You tell us in advance with a reduced SLAs, correct?
I'm sorry?
You will let me know, like candidate A.
Right. The
HCL
PAN card or the
correct.
other card is what we use for
Yeah,
verification.
you've already run the BGV check for that person, and within a week's time, you're going to let me know, you know, this is
There is no
risk
BGV
of
at all. Your company data is residing in our service already.
Okay. I
So
store
we
my
already,
data.
it is there in our
Okay.
service as a component of
Okay.
it, if you like. So when somebody else is doing a background verification, I don't have to call you and ask you, because whatever you're putting in your HR is already there as a component of the platform.
Okay.
So we can provide you that in seconds now.
You can provide in seconds.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you
It's
search
just
for
a
this and
data storage. Basically,
yes.
Okay.
Within seconds, you'll know everything about that person.
Okay.
So
I got it
the
wrong.
college has given me data about that they passed out from this. The
Okay.
company's provided me this data.
Okay.
I got a course from 𝗥𝗶𝘀. That information is available with me. So everything is available to me in seconds, and it's all done in seconds.
My follow-up question was,
So
if I declare something about an employee, a misconduct happened.
Sure.
So I thought, you know, you are going to share the information, and you know, you will know from your portal that, you know, so
Yes,
the person has already done something there.
absolutely. If it is stored in your HRMS system as such, it will automatically show up here also.
Only internal. Correct?
I'm sorry?
Only internal. In
No, for the external person as well.
Who's the external person?
The person who's seeking employment. Let's say, for example, I'm going to Infosys and applying for a job, and I was working for you before, as an example. When I'm doing a background verification, instead of calling you and asking you this, it is already there as a part of the system, and I can provide it to that person.
Consent. Okay, done. Thank you.
So that makes life easier. because I don't have a lot of time to talk to you, all of you at the same time. We want actually, the reason of me coming here and being a participant is because I don't have time to meet each one of you personally. I would wish all of you would come online and start signing up and doing everything on your own, using my APIs, consuming it and doing everything else. I don't have to do anything at all. That is my perfect world. That is my perfect world, believe it or not. Because ultimately I'm giving it to you free. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer it, making sure that all of you are happy, because we're trying to solve an industry problem ultimately. $800 billion. If that big company, if the MD says, I can save you 5 crores, won't that guy be happy? I'm sure, imagine the amount of employment that can be created and so on and so forth. That's a huge amount of things that we want to have ultimately, right? So there are other innovations that we're also working on. We have created something called hr-api.in, which is called open jobs. Basically, the idea today is that there are about 450 government job portals, 1,500 private job portals. No talent acquisition person has got the time to go and post a job in each one of them, create a login, do all these things, if you think about it, right? So what we've done is simple thing, just like how ANTC works. I pay from a Paytm customer to a UPI customer and so on and so forth, interoperability. So what we've done is we created you work in any of your HRMS system, you post a job, it comes to my API, it goes, any job portal can pick it up, anybody who's applying comes back, NLP divided, comes back into your HRMS within seconds, right? So this is another innovation that we have also created as a part of the platform, and we hope that you will be all participant to it, because our success depends on you. In both the platforms, if you think about it, our success entirely depends on you. Today, if I have to go talk to all these job portals, the first question is going to ask, how many jobs can I get ultimately? And if all of you start working with me, it'll make your life easier, of course, and of course, the entire world easier, just like how UPI has done it, if you think about it, right? So that's about it. That's all the presentation I have. If you have any other questions about this, I'm more than happy to answer this one as well.
Yes.
Yeah, please. How do I trust me?
Can you?
There is the reason is because there is no trust without you. So that is the reason why you have to trust me, because we are actually saying there is no trust without you. So hopefully all of you will remember there is a trust, there is no you in it, TRDS. Unfortunately, domain name getting is a very difficult task, so we have to market ourselves as saying there is no trust without you.
Yeah. So I think you partly answered this question with that lady there. So I remember, I think way back in 2006, there was an initiative by NASSCOM,
NSR database.
a similar one where I think Indian organizations were forced to sign up.
Sure.
And a lot of all the employee strength that actually signed up, especially software employees, and employees who were blacklisted, either for absconding with the laptop and not returning company property, or absconding while training and not paying back the dues, etc., were blacklisted. So I guess this is something like that, and eventually I guess all organizations would be linked onto this tool.
Yes.
And therefore, say one employee is blacklisted, he would therefore have no employment chances in the future.
Right.
I mean,
absolutely, that's exactly what we're trying to solve. To answer your question about NSR database did exist, and they've brought it to the back burner for now. They're focused on future skills prime. But in reality, if you think about it, we provide APIs. We do this. There was a manual interface. You expect a government guy to come and do a job for you. This is what you get. So without even you moving an inch. Now, that is the kind of thing that we would like to bring to you. Rather than trying to say you put an Excel spreadsheet, upload it into this. Who's got the time? You already, like I said, to put a job itself, we have to figure out how many job portals are there. And we are industry agnostic. So another thing is, NASSCOM, you have to become a member of NASSCOM. As a startup, it costed me $1.5 lakh. Before even I came to this, for my own problems that I had, I actually tried to do all these things. It became a big challenge for me. I'm being very open about it, right? So that is the reason why I started it personally. I lost $1.5 crore personally myself because of employees committing fraud within my organization, if you like. And as a part of my larger CTO role, I know the kind of fraud that gets committed and so on and so forth, and the kind of thing. In fact, I used to tell my prior employer that he can go from company A within the group, he can go from company A to company B and commit the same fraud without us knowing anything about it in reality. Like I said, agents don't get background check. There's a whole bunch of things. You have to look at it from a 360-degree angle, and that's what we have done right now, if you think about it. Yeah.
Trust. Sounds very interesting, but the fact that you mentioned about the job portals and the resume coming back to different companies. So say we've got 10 companies signed up. How do we individualize talent? Because today, some amount of talent profiles that come back, so the same profile could go to 10 companies. How do we know that our company gets the talent?
I'm sorry, you're talking about the job portal or the trust
The
score?
job portal.
The job portal is pretty simple. So you post a job, let's say I have a job opening in, let's say Byju's has a job opening, or anybody else for that matter, I just always say. So if you post a job within your own job portal, you pass it through the APIs, and any job portal can pick it up and post it into their own job portal. Anybody who's applying for a job in that job portal, let's say Naukri.com, Monster.com, anybody else who's applying for a job over there, comes back into your own HRMS system, NLP driven, with a percentage of match and given to you right in your hands. So that's the kind of vision that we are envisaging, if you like. Sure, please.
You said that the data that's collected is there on your server. Is there a possibility of it being hosted on the client's on the client you're working with on their server? Because I'm looking at it from the data privacy angle. I'm from Infosys, and I just want to make sure that I've understood it well, because there are a lot of other SaaS-based, API-based platforms that we have on-premise, right, for our clients. So I just want to know if there is a possibility of something like that for your.
Absolutely. See, to be very honest, what we use is everything is possible from our end. We don't tell you that that is not possible at all. We have API-driven solutions where it can reside in yours. And today, for example, how do I know which company he's working for? See, the only information that I ask for is, for example, I ask for Sudhakar Raja, my PAN card number. Now, I need to figure out which company is he working for. Otherwise, I'll have to say he's working for Infosys. Now go ping my Infosys server and tell me about it. So you understand the difference? You still seem confused. But in reality, that is the problem statement. But that is also possible from our side. We are not telling. We have created an HR API.in. If you go there, we have something called background verification as a API only. Just like how I've done for jobs, I've done it for BGVs also. So people can use that service instead of TrustScore. And TrustScore will help you in doing the same thing. Actually, it's all background is all TrustScore only. But we have provided you that facility as well, just to let you know. But the point is, we want you to be, today, for getting a credit card or a loan, for example, in seconds, right? How do I get that in seconds? Because today, if I went to the Global FinTech Conference, right? Global FinTech Conference had 3,000 companies. None of them would have existed if not for CIBIL or a credit score, right? We want to spin off an entire industry on a company like, on a score called TrustScore. That's our objective and a vision of where we want to head ultimately. Trust is a private company, and see, ultimately, like I said, there are two ways of looking at it. There is a problem statement. If you look at it, let's take CIBIL, right? TransUnion is a private limited company. Your Equifax is a private limited. Experian is a private limited company. You still we're all relying on private companies to store data anyway. Infosys is a private limited company. Acquia is a private limited company. XOXA is a private limited company. You're giving data to all these guys anyway, if you think about it from different angles. We are sharing data whether we like it or not with different kinds of people. And I'm giving you the same kind of confidence that you are using any of these providers. I'm giving you the same kind of confidence. I'm giving you the same kind of technology. I'm happy to speak to your CTO, CIO, whoever needs to be spoken to about, and I will explain to them how we are managing and maintaining stuff ultimately. So that way, that gives you the confidence that we are the company to work with ultimately. Yes. Benefit all of you together, to work together. Ultimately, it's a collaborative environment if you think about it. Just like how simple. Do we need a government regulation to tell you that there is a problem statement? I mean, one third of my money, that $800 billion is 1/3 of the total economy if you think about it. Imagine the employment that can be created, amount of money that you will be showing as profitability in your balance sheet, number of things that can be done. All this is going to help you in making that. I don't mean to say that I know everything. And each of you giving me, I've spoken to nearly 500 odd CHROs so far, and each of them provide me with their inputs, and I'm continuously improving it. We have an entire panel of people who we enrolled as to be a focus group. Whoever wants to be a part of that, we are happy to have you there. Be a part of our initiative. We want you to be a part of our initiative. Help us to make it better from the inside. That's what we would like you to have. If at all you have a suggestion, you say, hey, you know what did you do it this way? I'm happy, like he says, hey, you have an API-driven solution. I'm happy to provide you, and I've already done it. Thankfully, I've already done it. But if she's got that kind of a solution, she says, oh, try to do this as well. I'm happy to do that. Blockchain-based solution. We already have that. So ultimately, the reason why we're doing all these things is because the customers have already told us that this is something that they want. So we have already done whatever needed to do, and we are making it happen to make it right ultimately. Thank you very much.